So earlier this week, I made a video talking about Infinity Ward making a post. It's basically COD doing its yearly reveal of, or just post, just basically saying like we're gonna be back. We're back. We're bringing it back to its roots. We're gonna make the game good again. We're gonna make gaming good again. And Infinity Ward basically just was just like, yeah, we're gonna bring it back to how it was. We're gonna make this next Call of Duty the best it's been in a while. And so, of course, a lot of us kind of already had a similar reaction where it was like, okay, because I mean they say this every year where they make a post, an elaborate post about how they're gonna change the game, be innovative, and move forward with it in a way that all the players can come back to Call of Duty and be happy with. And unfortunately, they've been getting worse and worse. I mean, Black Ops 7 was a fucking flop. And I'm not even kidding. That game did not do that well. I'd have to look up, market, like how well it did, how much it sold, how it's done comparably to other Call of Duties. I haven't looked it up, but I guarantee you it's not even as much or as close as it is with, Black Ops 6 or any of the previous Call of Duties before. Basically meaning that it gets worse over time. So I know a lot of us, including me, weren't gonna expect a lot because it was like, okay, what are you gonna show us? You're gonna show us a copy paste of another Call of Duty. And obviously, I'm not gonna say anything just yet because I know there's gonna be a lot of mixed things with it, and I do have concerns. But earlier today or earlier this morning, we did get a look at what Infinity Ward was teasing us with, and it's Modern Warfare 4. That's actually kind of neat. I'm actually kind of happy that we're going back to Modern Warfare and I guess the last installment of Modern Warfare because Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was, I guess it's going to be technically that, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because, I mean, I don't know. It's cool. I guess they're going to go back to Modern Warfare, but I mean, at this point, I think it would have been better just to have either finished it like a while ago instead of doing Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7, possibly do, or even if you did Cold War, because trying to remember the timeline and everything. I know Modern Warfare 2 and 3 came out. Then you had like Cold War, fucking Vanguard and some other shit. And so I feel like they should have done Modern Warfare 4 a little bit sooner, or at least have the series finish out sooner. Because, yeah, we're at our fourth installment in year 7 of, or since 7 years since Modern Warfare 2019, or since its reboot. And so I don't know. I don't want to get too hyped up over it because I feel like it's going to be, again, it's just going to be a copy paste. It's going to be the same game we all know and kind of love, but just different, a little different themed. And so, yeah, Modern Warfare 4 was teased. And so, yeah, that was what Infinity Ward was teasing us with, was Modern Warfare 4. I don't know. I mean, it looks cool. It looks dope. I mean, it looks very innovative, and it kind of has a Battlefield-esque feel to it, which I guess is kind of neat. It literally reminds me of Battlefield 4 when you go to, I don't know, I don't want to, this is our, I don't know if it was China, Korea, or whatever it was, but in Battlefield 4, you kind of do similar stuff to how at least the trailer portrays it, and so it kind of looks neat. I mean, it looks a little bit more in tune, updated graphically wise, like it all looks more fluent. It's not just not very cut down and very like boom shooter-esque. Like it does look like there's some fluent to it. And I was gonna say that because I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and I really love how the game has a lot of fluent animation and motion to it because obviously it was made by Rockstar and they're gonna take their time. But it would be cool to see Call of Duty and Infinity Ward have that with this because I think every game can it can only be as good as its mechanics bring it. It has to have other factors with it, which is, graphical improvements, mechanical improvements, animation improvements where things are more fluent, things don't just you snap into certain places. That's when the animation starts and whatever. And so I really hope that Modern Warfare 4 takes a leap above and beyond what it usually does because it really, I mean, to be fair, for the past 6 years now, Call of Duty has just not changed or been innovative. The only notable changes that has been made to Call of Duty since 2019 is Omni movement. I mean, maybe DMZ, and I'll speak on that later. That's actually gonna be interesting. But Omni movement is probably the only innovative thing COD has done to their game that changes the way the game's played. Where there's a change in movement, even though it's not a crazy, but it's still like it creates a more fast-paced environment. And it was cool at first, but then it kind of, I don't know. I stopped playing Call of Duty after Black Ops 6 after so long because it just was just a rinse and repeat. Things get slightly changed around, and the more I grow up, the more I realize that some people are just right when some of these companies just don't really innovate their games. It's just rinse and repeat. Most games are just rinse and repeats, and it can only take you so far before that one theme becomes so oversaturated. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, or not Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, what else? I don't want to say GTA because that's still very hyped. I don't know, just games that just you have a theme to it and it gets super popular, but at some point it's not gonna stay as popular. You keep dragging it along so much, it's not gonna have as much pull to it because at least back then when we had like Ghost, Advanced Warfare, and Infinite Warfare, like even if there was concerns with it, they were still very decent Call of Duties. They were fun. It was still fun to me and it was cool. Like at least the campaign, everything about some of these older games still had a life to them that was still somewhat fun and had at least had some memories on. Newer ones are just so fucking stagnant. Like I literally would rather just drink stagnant water sitting in a glass for 2 months before I'd sit here and say that they've been innovative the past 6 years because it's just as much change happens. Like, as a horrible analogy, there has been as much change to fucking stagnant water that sits around for fucking months on end as there has been to Call of Duty and their games. It's a little disappointing because as big as a company as they are, and I've been saying this on stream too, they just aren't making that much money. So I guess they just don't want to go too far and beyond with making risk and trying so hard to be innovative because they may just not make their money back and it just may be a waste of time for them. And they just don't want to take that risk for some odd reason. Like they seem like they announce it as if they're doing all this. So they're going to be innovative. They're going to go above and beyond, whatever. And then you actually get to play the game and it's damn near the same as the previous Call of Duty. So it's unfortunate with stuff like that, but there are some changes coming to this. There are some additions, and so I think some of them are notable to mention that are actually kind of interesting. The biggest thing I will preface, if I even said that right, is DMZ. It is coming back, and then so I wasn't the biggest fan of DMZ because it just seemed like a lazy battle royale. But apparently, it was in beta for the longest time, and apparently, with this Modern Warfare 4 coming out, it's actually going to be fully released and not in beta. So it's going to be a little bit more different, and from what is being described of it, it's almost going to play like Arc Raiders, where you have PvP objectives and also have the hint or the option of having a PvP within it as well. And so, again, similar to Arc Raiders, you can also negotiate with these teams and, all above and beyond. And so I think that's going to be kind of cool. I would like to see that if it's, I don't know how that would play. I would assume it's just a battle royale with PvE and PvP, I guess. I don't know, like it just doesn't seem that crazy to me. Maybe with different objectives where it's not a circle going in, but you got to do certain things and then you can just leave if you want. But the problem with that is that there's no benefit to doing that in DMZ. You don't just leave with shit and it's all, whatever. It just seemed very lackluster and very, like, non-rewarding. Like, you just played DMZ and you leave and you felt like nothing happened or changed. You just played a game mode. It was like playing, like, a new game mode. It was like playing, like, Team Deathmatch if you haven't played it before, expecting shit to be different or something cool, and then you just go to the menu and it's just like, that's it. Time for the next game. It didn't really feel like there was any reward to playing DMZ, and so I'm hoping that with DMZ, it does incorporate that where there is more to it. There is a loot rarity to it. There is the risk of losing it. There is you can have PvP and PvE, and it needs to mesh together very good for it to actually have a tone to where it could be playable, not just lackluster thrown together. It's half zombies, it's half Warzone, and a half Team Deathmatch. Like, it just seemed like it was very lackluster on that end, at least from, I think, Modern Warfare 2. So DMZ's been in beta for damn near 4 or 5 years now, which is crazy to think about. But hopefully, if they were to execute it right, this could actually be a good game mode if they play their cards right. Now, when you max out your gun, you have what is called an Apex attachment, meaning that you can change your gun and add things to the gun that couldn't be added unless you have fully prestiged and maxed out that specific weapon, which is actually kind of cool because it gives an incentive for players to want to work for and keep using a certain gun, whether instead of it just being, you get camos, you get to unlock a 20 round magazine instead of a 18 round magazine. There's actually going to be cooler attachments to it. From what I've seen, there's going to be like explosive shells for shotguns, incendiary rounds. Like, not crazy, I know, but throwing knives attached to the gun. or to the frame of the rifle. So there are some things they're adding to where once you prestige it, you do get something with it, or you can add something to it. And so I think that's cool. I think it's better than I guess just having it to where you can just I don't know. I don't really have a point. I was just gonna say that I think it's good. I think it's a good improvement. I was gonna try to go off like because previous Call of Duties weren't really like that. You can either buy it through the through microtransactions, or you kind of just you have to do. Or what was horrible was the objective based level ups where you had to get like it would like refresh different objectives for you to do so you can get that one attachment. It was so and it was mostly MW2. It was very elaborate and complex to get attachments and to level up and do all that for no reason. It was so complex. I had to do like 20 headshots to get a silencer for a different gun. That like it was so like back and forth and all over the place. It was horrible. And they did eventually change away from that and kind of move back from that. And I'm hoping that with this, it's a lot more simple. And I think some games can be simplistic in some areas. And I think Call of Duty needs to go back on that. They don't need to have elaborate UIs, elaborate level up systems, elaborate main menus, elaborate shop, like trying to move through the menu. Like it's so complex nowadays that I don't understand how older people are playing the game. At least, you know, I don't want to say efficiently, but with any amount of, like, I don't know, like, I'd imagine it takes forever to someone who's older that's not so used to the UI, having to navigate through the menu because they don't know what the fuck they're seeing. It's like that one Key and Peele skit where they have that older, retired ex-military dude, and so they bring him to the facility, and then all of a sudden, once he gets in there and they're gonna debrief him, a fucking 3D hologram pops up, and he's all like, oh, oh. That's how I imagine it is for the older folk that play this game because they don't know what the fuck they're saying. They're just seeing all this UI menu shit, all these different things, you know, and it's like, it's so confusing and it makes no sense and it takes away and it's so unappealing to people that want to be immersed into this, but they're so kind of thrown back by how much is thrown at them just in the main menu alone when the game is not even that elaborate or complex to begin with. So I'd hope that they go back to their simplistic roots, make things easier to understand, but still have enough challenge to it to where people can still be engaged with it rather than being set back by how complex the UI and everything is. So there's a couple other things, including Omni movement. It's removed. It's completely removed. I mean, it makes sense, right? I think that was more of a Black Ops thing, just to try to change the vibe and the what's it called, the meta of gameplay. And so I don't know, the Omni movement was all right, but they're getting rid of it. There's still going to be some improvements to those animations, where it's like sliding into climbing into mantling and certain stuff like that. So still like, you know, still fluent and motion like that, just not fucking running backwards and shit. That was a little weird. Besides that, the only thing is just the campaign. It takes place in, I don't know why I have a Swedish, but the campaign is going to take place with the war between South Korea and North Korea. And so you're tasked with joining operatives in, I believe is South Korea. You're helping out South Korean military ops. You're teamed up with them. Your American grunts teamed with some South Korean ops, and you guys are just kind of just doing, I don't want to say investigative work, but just making sure everything's all right. And so then it becomes invasion based, and then you got stuff going on. And so that's what seems like it's alluded with the trailer. And so there's not much more above and beyond that I can explain. Most of the information I am gathering right now is from a Twitter user by the name of Blue Thunder Real. So he apparently played Modern Warfare 4, or had early access to it and got to play it, and was just going down a whole list about all these different things that changed and is updating with it. And so it looks cool. I'm kind of somewhat, maybe I might get it. You know, it's like, I don't know. I don't really buy games no more, man. Like, it's hard for me to get a game and play it because it's like everything becomes so saturated over time. And so you get older and you're like, it's the same thing. It's this and that. Not really impressed. And it's just rinse and repeat. And so, I mean, we'll see. I might get it. I might not. I don't know. I've been really enjoying Red Dead Redemption 2 and RE4 Remake so far. I've been streaming that. So I guess we'll see. But that's about it. I just want to talk about it because get that out as fast as possible. So appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.